Hey, what's up? It's Gazbot here, back with another review. This time we're doing Saban's Power Rangers Super Megaforce figure. Saban got the rights back from Disney a couple years ago, and everything is once again plastered with his name like it was back in the 90s. Some people think it's good, some people think it's bad. I'm just looking at a toy here. It was from the Super Megaforce line, where they brought back all the other Rangers in the form of keys or guest appearances, or at the very end of the Mega Legendary War, rather. And this is Zeo Gold from Power Rangers Zeo, the Gold Ranger, who was Jason from the original Mighty Morphin, come back with his triumphant return as this character. This is not the first version of this character as a figure. There was several back in the day. One I had was, I forget if it was an 8 or a 12-inch, but like a Battlematic action. That was pretty cool. I've seen a few others. There was a re-release a couple years ago as part of like a Legends chase line, I think in Jungle Fury or SPD. And that one looks pretty good too. I don't know that this is the best one, but it's available right now on store shelves for about $10 or online. So if you're looking for representation of this character, this is going to be your cheapest one, your easiest to get one as of December 2014. So let's go ahead and turn the package. Right, that's an exciting side. And then on the back, you can see it's got another photo of him, some of the other 6th and Red Rangers from the Legendary series. What's funny is, I'm not sure about Gokaiger, which is the Japanese version of Super Megaforce. I haven't watched that yet. But in the American version, this character, I think he was in the Legendary War episodes, but no one ever turned into him that I remember. And it's true of a couple of these figures that they've released as part of this series, which ostensibly these Rangers have turned into, but yet we didn't necessarily see that. It's got his little bio, says his name, talks about the Golden Power Staff, and his Zord and things like that. So let's open him up and see what we got. Alright, so here we have him out of the package, and he's on display, just standing up just like he came out. The weapon was already in his hand. I got this neat little light-up rotating display recently. It's the Master Light Revolving Stage 01 from Legend Studio. It's pretty cool. I think it was about $25–30, and it's definitely good for these reviews. I haven't tried using it on a shelf yet. I actually thought it'd be a little bit bigger, but for what we have here, it's perfect. You could also use it in a mode where the lights are not on and it's just rotating. One of the things that I first noticed about this guy is, again, he's part of this 5-inch scale line, which I'm not a huge fan of because they don't match up with a lot of the other figures I have. And there's been some inconsistency matching up with each other. I have two others from this line, the Titanium Ranger and the SPD Ranger Red. And their scale doesn't quite match up with each other. So later on in the video, I'll scale him against them and see how it goes. The other thing, though, let me just grab his golden staff rod here thing. I forget what it's called. Solid molded one color piece, gold, which is a good choice. Sometimes they mold it in bizarre colors. I'm actually going to take this and modify it with marker. I'm going to put some black and some silver, see if I have a red, and try to make it look more accurate to the show. Okay, so next let's talk about articulation. I imagine he'll be the same as others in this line. He's got the shoulder swivel that goes up, forward, back, hindered a bit by the shoulder piece, which is non-removable, which is good because you're not going to lose it, but bad because you can't see his design underneath, or, you know, remove it again for better articulation. But I'd rather have it be fixed if I had to pick between the two. So anyway, arms go back, forward, up, down, elbow joint, no swivel at the bicep, no swivel at the wrist. Oh wait, actually we do have a swivel. We have a swivel on the high wrist right here, which is a little bit weird. I'd rather be on the hand or on the bicep, because here this is a little odd, but I'll take what I can get. Head, left, right, no up down whatsoever, not even a hint of it. Same thing on this arm, obviously. No waist swivel, which is... I always wish there was a waist swivel. I'd give up the wrist to get a waist. Legs forward, back, out to the side. Get a swivel at the knee, a bend at the knee, of course. Nothing on the ankle. So, you know, decent, mediocre, not the best, but, you know, not terrible. I'd really like a waist swivel, but that's a common complaint I have with these sort of consumer-grade, you know, kids' toys. As far as the paint, it all looks pretty sharp. I don't see any problems. The helmet looks nice. Let me see if I can get a close-up here. it's got his design in kind of a metallic paint, and it looks like there's no flaws. The mouth mold is nice. You know, you can't see it too well because it's black, but it's molded in real nice. He's got design in the boots and in the gloves, and all the paint looks slightly metallic. I had a similar problem with the Titanium Ranger, not a big problem, but the inconsistency of the gold, I'm sorry, not Titanium Ranger, the black Megaforce Ranger in Ultra Mode, where the gold on the plastic and of the belt and the shoulder pads is plastic. And it's nice, but it's a little bit dull compared to the sort of yellow gold on the paint, which is actually a little bit nicer. So, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I would prefer it match, or... yeah, I'd prefer it match. Or if this was a chrome, like a vacuum form, like the old school Green Ranger or whatever, that would be fantastic. I would really like that. I'm looking at this figure. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because the SPD Ranger really disappointed me to the point where I had bought a Jungle Fury Ranger, and I returned it without opening it because I opened the SPD Ranger and I didn't really enjoy the proportion. I had to use a marker on the accessories, and I went online and found a Jungle Fury Red for a couple bucks more from the original line that was much better. So this guy was sort of, I was on the fence with him. When I got the Titanium Ranger, I kind of said the only reason I got it was because to get a decent version cheap, he was my best option. And I feel similarly with Gold Ranger here, and that's probably the last one I'll get from that line. Although now that I've opened them, I don't know, I'm thinking about getting the Time Ranger figure as well. But let's see if we can get him in a couple poses, and I'll just do a little... I'm actually pretty astonished I got him to balance on one foot like that. That impresses me, the tightness of the joints and the balance of the figure. So here he is in a lineup with the other two figures I have from this series, and they are all, again, from the Super Megaforce series, although none of these characters are from Super Megaforce. You can see the SPD Ranger, and they're all in the same line. The SPD Ranger is a hair shorter, but his proportions are also weird compared to the other two. And looking at them now, these two match a lot better. And when I got the Titanium Ranger, I thought he was maybe just like a fluke that he had slightly better proportions, but now I'm thinking that SPD is the one that's the fluke with the weird proportions. I'll have to do a little more research because maybe it's just by figure. It seems it has to do with the length of the torso versus the length of the thighs. So if it bothers you like it bothers me, that's the thing to watch out for. But these two match pretty well. And then you put this guy in, and he looks a little squat. And also his shoulders look kind of bulbous, which, I mean, that's a lot of the figures look that way. But I feel that in Titanium, the paint obfuscates it a bit. And the shoulder harness here, or chest plate, whatever you want to call it, makes it even better. Titanium I like, but this chest plate makes him even better. And if Titanium had the shoulder pads he's supposed to have, he would probably work even better, but these two are great. Him not so much, but yeah, he's looking good. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward, much like the other figures in this series. One of the better ones, certainly on par with Titanium Ranger. Not as bad as SPD Red. Certainly worth $10 for this character, especially because he's an older character, so he's less available. He's not a must-have. He's a must-have if you're a Zeo fan. He's a must-have if you're a Jason fan. He's a must-have if you're a King Ranger from O-Ranger fan. But again, I don't even know if this is the version. If you're that big of a fan, you might find a better version out there. For me, I'm just enough a fan of this character that for $10, this is the perfect version for me. Like I said, I'm going to color in the staff myself to make it better. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. Happier than I thought I was going to be with it, actually. And like I said, it might now actually spur me on to get one of the Time Rangers that I was... So here's the staff. I just used a silver and a black Sharpie. And you can see it makes a huge difference. If I had a red Sharpie, I'd do the ball on the top. And I might do that later. I just don't have one right now. But it took a few minutes. It definitely will hurt the value of the figure. But it was a $10 figure. It's not rare. I don't plan on selling it. And if I did, hey, this looks better than it used to. So... that is my recommendation for almost all of these figures. Get some Sharpies or paint markers and make the accessories better yourself. One other thing I forgot to mention, the accessory is made out of a pliable PVC, so it's bendy, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's less likely to snap, which is probably why they do it. But be warned, it is bendy and doesn't always look straight and nice. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for checking me out, and check out my other reviews. Subscribe if you want. Thanks.